Welcome everyone to the virtual college exploration for Illinois students, sponsored by the Illinois Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us today. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. There is no chat function, so please use that Q&A feature. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. So again, very important to be using that Q&A. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to check out the full schedule at iacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will also be available within about a week at the same website. So that's again, iacac.org. I'm going to go ahead and now turn it over to our presenters.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. So I'm Heather Hawker, and I am one of the regional mission counselors at Iupui. And I'm going to go ahead and go through our information, and we are so excited that you took the time to meet with us today. All right, so Iupui, we are Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis. So we are truly the best of three worlds. We offer either an IU or a Purdue degree, depending on your academic major, in downtown Indianapolis. So, for example, some of our Purdue degrees would be our engineering and technology or science degrees, and then we obviously have Kelley School of Business would be one of our IU degrees. So it depends on the major you're interested in, which degree you would be receiving. So some quick information about Iupui. We were founded in 1969. We are located in downtown Indianapolis. We have just over 21,000 undergrad students, so we are a larger urban university, but it's a 17-to-1 student-faculty ratio. So you're really able to get that individualized attention that you look for in a larger university. We do have Division I athletics, and we compete in the Horizon League. We have over 500 clubs and organizations, including sororities and fraternities for students to get involved in. So these are great different things that students can get involved in, add to your resume, things to do outside the classroom, and really expand your experience at Iupui. We do have 16 degree granting schools with 450 academic programs. So to give you kind of a visual idea of where we are in Indianapolis, so you'll see on your screen, you'll see Iupui Campus Center. That's an awesome building. It's where admissions is housed. We have some coffee or Starbucks, Caribou is located there. There's some food in there, a great area just to hang out, our bookstore. And you'll see, we always like to say we're kind of in the backyard of Indianapolis, or Indianapolis is in our backyard. So you'll see there's Mass Avenue, which is great restaurants, nightlife, Salesforce, the State House. We have the Indianapolis Zoo. We're right on the White River, so there's tons of opportunities and great little areas to check out in downtown Indianapolis. So some of our traditions, we do have our weeks of welcome, our regatta. You'll see some students on canoes. They canoe down the canal. We have our Jagathon, which is a dance marathon that raises money for Riley's Children's Hospital. We do have 5 hospitals on our campus, including Riley's Children's Hospital. So that's an awesome event that our students raise money for people at Riley's Children's Hospital. We do have cultural heritage dinners, and then Jagapalooza would be kind of our end of the year carnival and celebration. We do offer 5 residence halls on campus at Iupui. Freshmen can live in any of the 5. They break down to community style, suite style, apartments, townhomes, and then we also have North Hall, which is home to all different students. We have Tower, which is freshmen, Ball Hall, which is freshmen, and then we do have the Riverwalk apartments and townhomes. It's a great experience for our students. Housing does always fill up at Iupui, so it's always great to apply to that early, but definitely some great housing options to build community and meet other students at Iupui. So here's a list of our academic schools, degree granting schools that students are able to study in. I am gonna provide you some more information about these different schools. So you'll see, we obviously have our Huron School of Art and Design available for students. We have an amazing art gallery. We have Kelley School of Business. Most of our students do amazing things. You're in downtown Indianapolis. You can walk to internships, hands-on experience, be able to do multiple internships and really boost that resume and land hopefully the job of your dream as you leave us. We have a School of Dentistry, our School of Education. School of Engineering and Technology, we do have the only motorsports engineering program in the country. So that's something we're super popular. We work with a lot of students who are interested in that program. School of Health and Human Sciences, First School of Informatics and Computing. They do some amazing things in that school. Really, if you are interested in informatics and computing, we are a must check out for you. They do some just different 3D design. They have some great lab space, so definitely a cool school to check out. We have our School of Liberal Arts. We do have a law school on our campus. We have the IU School of Medicine is actually located on our campus, and we do offer some bachelor's degrees from our School of Medicine. We do have the largest school of nursing in the state of Indiana. We have the world's only philanthropy school. So that's something that a lot of students maybe don't realize right away that's their passion, but they can study that at IUPUI. We have our Paul O'Neill School of Public and Environmental Affairs, our Richard Fairbanks School of Public Health. We do have an epidemiology major, so they obviously have been active researching with the pandemic happening. We have our school, Purdue School of Science, a school of social work. We do have our University College, so if it's not a direct admit program or you're a little undecided, that's a great place to start. I know when I was looking at colleges, I was completely undecided. So it's a good way to start and get a feel for what you're interested in and where you gravitate to. We do have an IUPUI Honors College, so if you are interested in applying, it's an excellent opportunity for students. You just need to make sure you're applying by November 15th. So steps for becoming a JAG-wire. You can apply two ways. You can apply through our IU application or through our common application. Either one is fine by us. You do need to submit an essay and your transcripts. And we did decide last fall to go test optional. So we are a test optional school. So you can choose if you would prefer to send your test scores or not. Our scholarships are tied to GPA, not to test scores. So there is no disadvantage applying test optional. It's a level playing field. It's definitely a great opportunity if you haven't been able to test or you prefer not to send us your test scores. You can send your high school transcripts directly from your high school, and then you can self-report your ACT or SAT scores and then submit us official scores later on. So minimum requirements for admission. If you are thinking of applying with a test score, a minimum required we're looking is no lower than a 2.8 GPA and 1,000 or a 19 on the ACT. So that would be kind of if you were applying with your test scores. If you are applying test optional, we like to see a 3.0 GPA. So definitely, depending on where you're at, you can decide maybe that's a factor in how you decide if you want to apply test optional or not. To give you an idea of our average incoming profile from last year, we had a 3.49 GPA, an 1120 SAT, and a 22 ACT. And I do want to mention that you can apply to any program at IUPUI, test optional, and still do direct admission. The only current program that is requiring your test score is our honors college. So our cost of attendance, coming from Illinois, you can utilize the MSEP, which is the Midwest Tuition Exchange, and this will give you a huge discount coming out of state. So students coming from Illinois, you'll see all the way on the side, the MSEP Living on Campus. It takes your out-of-state tuition, which is a little over $31,000, and drastically cuts it a little over $17,000 to $14,342. So there's a huge savings being an Illinois student. Then what you would have is you'll have your room and board. So your books and supplies are not direct costs. You take a look at factoring those in. Same with transportation and personal expense. But the nice thing is we do offer a lot of buckets of scholarships. So not only do we have the MSEP, you are automatically reviewed for admission-based scholarships, and then we do have competitive scholarships that students are able to apply to. So I kind of started mentioning about those scholarships, but here is it laid out a little more. So you'll see we do have our honors college scholarships. You do need to apply by November 15th. That's a great scholarship for high achieving students that are interested in the academic rigor of our honors college. Our competitive scholarships and diversity scholarships, you would need to apply to by February 15th. These are great opportunities for students. They may be based on your major, things you're involved in high school. There's a lot of different buckets of scholarships that you can apply through our IUPUI scholarship system. And then I did mention the admission-based scholarships. So students are automatically reviewed for admission-based scholarships as they apply to IUPUI. So just a timeline for you. Obviously, the FAFSA opened on October 1st. If you have not done that already, we encourage you to file your FAFSA no later than November 15th. Our Honors College deadline is that date and priority date for full merit scholarships. So if you have not applied yet to IUPUI, definitely put that on your list of things to do this week. It's a great opportunity to kind of get ahead of the game and make sure you're getting all the information you need from us as you make your admission or college decision. We announce financial aid packages in mid-December. Our honors interview notifications go out, and then you'll see February 15th is the deadline for those competitive scholarships. And then mid-March, you get notifications and you get updates on your competitive scholarships and everything like that. So we are doing in-person visits. So if you would like to come down to Indianapolis, this is an amazing time. You would just do so by going to this link on our website. We do have virtual visit offerings as well. And some of our colleges do virtual visit offerings almost every day. So I know our College of Science and Engineering have a lot of virtual visits. So we have a great calendar on our website that you can type in, I'm a high school senior and I'm interested in business. And it will tell you all the offerings in admissions, in business, anything virtual and in person. So there's definitely opportunities to visit campus. We just would recommend checking out our website for the most up-to-date information. So as I mentioned, I'm excited that you guys kind of got some information about IUPUI. I do want to introduce Jamie, who's on here as well. She was doing my PowerPoint. So go ahead, Jamie.
Awesome. So please, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the bottom. We do have some questions now, though. So going to get that started. Somebody's asking about study abroad. Is that something that we offer at IUPUI?
Yes. So there are over 260 study abroad programs that students can participate in. I know I studied abroad in college and it was the best experience of my life. I often see my time hop pop up with that, and I'm always sad I'm not there now. So yes, we definitely recommend students study abroad. It is a great opportunity.
Somebody is saying that you mentioned that housing fills up. Can you talk a little bit more about the housing process, how that works, what our students need to do, and go from there?
Perfect. So yes, housing is at a premium at IUPUI. We wish we had 5 more residence halls because we know we'd fill them every single year. So we do have the 5 residence halls on campus, but they do fill each year. So coming as an out-of-state student, you want to make sure you apply by March 15th of your senior year. Earlier is better, but the latest would be March 15th. And what would happen is you would fill out our housing application through IUPUI, and then once your application is in, once they start reviewing applications, they would send out contracts to students. So if you were selected for housing, you would let you know what you have received. You can select roommates, you can put down preferences of where you plan on living, but the best thing is just to apply early on because it is at a premium. And we do have some off-campus housing, by the way. We have a lot of students that live off campus, and sometimes their off-campus apartment is even closer to their building than the actual housing is. So a lot of students, even freshmen, live off campus, so it is a great option because we're just immersed right with the city.
So speaking of that, somebody's asking if you can talk a little bit about what the campus looks like, because it's really urban and right in the middle of downtown. Like, is there green space? Are there office buildings throughout the campus?
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I love about IUPUI is there is so much green space. And when you're walking through campus, you don't feel like you're in a major city, except maybe in between buildings, you catch a glimpse of some of the towers in Indianapolis. And you're like, oh, I am in a city. But there's tons of green space. There's amazing art throughout campus and landscaping. There's tons of spaces to be outside and study or just enjoy some lunch. But then it's great because you're walking distance to a city. We're the 3rd largest city in the Midwest. So the nice thing is you are able to walk and have amazing food. I know Jamie and I, our favorite coffee shop, Coat Check Coffee, is located in Indianapolis. And I love that I can pop over there, grab my favorite latte, and be back on campus in 10 minutes. So you have that accessibility to so much, but you also have the campus feel.
Can you have a car on campus your first year?
You can. So you would need to register, obviously, your car with the campus, but you are able to have a car on campus.
So we're getting a lot of questions about how the academic programs work. So I don't know if you can talk a little bit more about that. And then specifically the question that we're getting is, can you major, like if you start in a Purdue school, can you major in something else that maybe isn't in that same Purdue school?
Great, yep. So as I mentioned, when you apply to IUPUI, you will select a major. It doesn't bind you to that major, but you will select a major. And some of them are, you will be reviewed for direct admission to the program. So what does that mean is, not only are you admitted to IUPUI, you're directly admitted, for example, to Kelley School of Business. You are a business student coming right in. Some students may just apply undecided, so they're an IUPUI student, but they haven't yet applied to the business school. So the nice thing is that sometimes students get hung up on like, well, I'm a Purdue seeking student and my friend is an IU student. How will we interact? We're all IUPUI students. So we have some students that major in Purdue programs and they minor in IU programs. It's all one campus. We're all IUPUI students. Just at the end of the day, I may get a Purdue diploma that says Purdue University, Indianapolis, and Jamie may get an Indiana University diploma from Indianapolis, and we're roommates and we're best friends, but it doesn't matter. We're all IUPUI students.
So kind of along that same line, someone was asking about the undecided program, what that entails and what resources are available to help choose a major.
Sure. So university college is for all undecided students. That's where students will start, and it's really a great way to explore your options. Coming as an undecided student myself, I will say that it's amazing to work with our career development, work with our academic advisors. It's okay not to know what you want to do at 18 years old. I'm 33 and I'm still not sure about what I want to do. So I would say that coming in undecided is totally fine. You can work with our alumni office, or you can work with our academic advisors. You can connect with different areas, like you're interested in the College of Science, but you're not sure what major. You can connect with our College of Science admissions counselors or advisors, and they can talk to you about your options. You can potentially network within the city of Indianapolis, maybe do some shadowing experiences. So there's so many resources for students to kind of expand their bubble and see what is around, to then hopefully figure out, I know this career is where I want to go to, and this major will get me there.
What are some of the most popular majors at IUPUI?
So I would say our most popular majors you would see is that we obviously have a lot of nursing students, Kelley School of Business, engineering and technology is always a lot of students in that program. But we also have a lot of students that go into unique programs like our informatics program, or they're interested in philanthropy. So we do have such those unique programs, as well as so many programs outside. We are really well known for our healthcare programs, so our school of science is very big. Having the 5 hospitals on our campus to be able to walk and do research, to get hands-on experience, is really a great opportunity for students.
Someone asked how soon they can do research, and I can actually talk about this a little bit. So as a freshman biology student, you can actually do research in your first semester. So there is an internship program or a research program that is set up specifically for our biology students to come in and do research within their first semester in a paid position. So we really work very hard to get that research opportunities on your resume, so that when you are applying to med school or any type of postgraduate education, you can say with confidence that you have worked on some really amazing research projects. So another question that we're getting concerns the MSEP. What do students have to do to get the MSEP?
Great, that's a great question. So as you apply to IUPUI, you will, as long as you have an incoming freshman, a 2.75 GPA or higher, you would receive the Midwest Tuition Exchange Award. It's a 2.5 GPA on a 4.0 scale for a transfer student. And the nice thing is that is going to stay with you all 4 years. So once you're awarded your freshman year, as long as you continue living in the Midwest MSEP states, you're going to continue getting that scholarship. So it's not something where you have to fill out an application and wait to hear, am I going to get it? Am I not? Usually once you're admitted and receive your financial aid package, you would know right away, as long as you meet that GPA requirement.
And someone's asking about admissions, when they would know a decision after a completed application.
So our application did open on August 1st. So we, like I said, we do encourage students to apply. And the nice thing is our admissions decision turnaround time is pretty quick. once we get your application and all documents to complete it, it's usually within a 2-week turnaround time. The time that takes long is getting those transcripts, getting the test scores, or you can self-report to speed that up. So once you get all your documents in, usually it's a decently quick turnaround time.
And are letters of recommendation required?
They are not.
Do you have any campus rec? So any club sports or anything like that?
Yes, so we do have intramurals, as well as, sorry, it's escaping me, intramurals and club sports. That's what they're called. I was thinking of a fancier word, it's just club sports. So we have a lot of different opportunities for students to get involved in campus sports outside of being Division I. You may be a student that want to compete Division I. You can work with your coaches and our coaches directly. For that process, we're kind of removed from that. However, if you know you want to come to IUPUI and you want to play club baseball, you can do that. You still will compete. You may play other schools. You may travel a little bit, but it's student run. So it's more recreational. It's more fun. It's a release. Intramural sports are strictly fun. That may be, like a volleyball league or a softball league, and they're just students getting together, having fun, and participating in athletics outside of the classroom.
Awesome. I also want to put a plug in for our pool. So our natatorium is considered one of the best pools in the country. So if you're a swimmer in the Midwest, chances are good that you've already swam in our pool. But it is used by the U.S. Olympic swim and dive team every few years for their time trials for the Olympics. So that's just kind of a fun little fact about our pool of all things. Somebody's asking, is it the same Kelley School of Business as down in Bloomington?
Good question. So we are separate universities, and we are two different Kelley Schools of Business. However, we do have the same dean. So students are able to, your curriculum and the experience are a little bit, or the curriculum is the same, the experience may be a little different because we're in Indianapolis. So some students, they really want to be able to walk to an internship. They want to do internships sophomore, junior, and senior year. And they're able to do that because we're in a metropolitan city. But we do have this, I hate using the same. We do have Kelley School of Business at both ours. We have the same dean, just two separate universities. Jamie, you want to add anything to that?
I would just say that, like Heather said, one of the biggest benefits is that we have access to all of those internships. Some of the majors may be slightly different. For example, we offer supply chain management, which I don't believe is offered down in Bloomington. But one of the biggest things that sells our Kelley School of Business is a class called I-Core. So I-Core is a class that is required for all Kelley School of Business students, and you will come in and work with students from other majors within that school. And what we do is we bring a company in, a company that's having an issue or a problem, and we have them present to the students. The students are then going to work on that issue, creating a marketing plan, a business plan, doing all the work necessary to ultimately present their solution to that business. So not only are you getting real world experience and solving modern day business issues, but you are also networking with companies that are based or headquartered in Indianapolis. I learned a fact the other day, which I think is really interesting. A third of all businesses in Indiana are in Indianapolis. So just a lot of really awesome access to internships with Fortune 500 companies like Salesforce and Eli Lilly to small businesses that are just getting up and running. So it really is a great program and a great location. That is actually the last question that I have. So are there any more questions before we throw it back to Anna? Awesome. All right. Well, just wanted to say again, thank you all for joining us so much. We really appreciate you being here. Heather and I both work in the Chicagoland area. We both live in the Chicagoland area. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to answer questions for you. And if someday we're able to meet in person, we would love to do that. But again, we do handle all of Illinois, Chicago specifically, but we do work with all of our Illinois students. So please, again, reach out. And otherwise, Anna, I'm going to throw it back to you.
Excellent. I'm just going to go ahead and get my slide up real quick. So thank you everyone again for joining us today. When you do close out of this window, you are going to be directed to a very quick 4-question survey. We would really appreciate any feedback that you can provide on the program. And again, this was just one of many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at that website, iacac.org. And again, in about a week, you will be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recordings at that same website. iacac.org. So thank you to our presenters, and have a wonderful evening.